Hey y'all, I'm back. I hope all is well. I hope that everything's going well. Today, we're going to be talking about in my video, deep conditioners, how I use the deep conditioners as conditioner, as well as why I condition and the good things that they help to offer for your locks. I've talked so much about it on Loose Natural Hair, so if you're interested in videos like that, if you keep scrolling down with my Loose Natural Hair videos, I talk all about deep conditioning, so I'm not going to get into that obviously in this video. I'm going to be talking about the benefits for locks. And also, do y'all see this growth? Like, do y'all notice before I was not able to do all this? And now y'all see what your girl is doing, and I love it. And so locks are out here flourishing, and I'm gonna get into this video on deep conditioning because that's a part of why my locks can do all this and why they're flourishing. So let's get into it. So deep conditioning your locks or conditioning your locks are good because your locks can become dry. A tonic sometimes doesn't do it. Other products you may use may not do it for your locks, and they may still be dry. So with a deep conditioner, the deep conditioner goes in and it penetrates deeper into the hair shaft and into the follicles so that your hair can receive a different level of moisture, a deeper level of moisture. So that way when you're using products, it doesn't feel like your hair is just dry right after you use them, and you don't have to constantly throughout the day spray the tonic. You can choose to if you want to, but this is a way to kind of combat that so your hair isn't always feeling like it's dry. Now, this stuff I'm talking about can be a part of why it feels like it's always dry, so take that into consideration, but it's not all of the reasons as to why it could feel like it's always dry, so keep that in mind. With deep conditioning, you want to do that especially with locks because again, they do get dry, but also you want to do it especially if you have color treated hair like I do myself hair, because color in general, dye in general, it does dry your hair out. So you do need to replenish the moisture from your hair being dried out because color strips the melanin or pigment out of your hair, and that's how the color is able to be inserted into your hair. Sorry, I got tongue tied. Also, you want to be using like some type of, at some point in time, you don't always have to do this. I say this all the time, and I think some people twist my words up and think I'm saying this all the time. You know, from time to time, use some type of protein on your hair, and it's going to help strengthen, you know, your hair inside of those locks so they don't disintegrate, so they don't come apart. If you're using bleach, like I'm not an expert on bleach, I don't use it ever because I know my hair would disintegrate. It's a different ball game. Sometimes deep conditioners and protein treatments and Olaplex and all that can work for your hair. Sometimes it cannot, and you just wind up having to start over. So it really just depends on the condition of your hair and things like that. So keep that in mind. I would talk to somebody that is an actual hairdresser about that because I don't get on bleach. I use box dye and semi-permanent dye, and I've done videos about that. If you want to see that, you know, again, scroll down and you'll see a lot of the variety of videos that I offer and what I do. I use specifically, because people find it interesting, deep conditioner instead of conditioner, because I want a deeper level of moisture throughout the week. And sometimes, a lot of times, a conditioner may not be able to get in deeply. It is only going to coat the outside of the hair shaft. It's not going to go within. So I'm always using a deep conditioner as a conditioner, which you can do. They tell you on the back of the jars that you can do it that way as well. So keep that in mind. With protein treatments, I have high porosity hair, so it's different. Some people say they can get protein overload, so you know, keep that in mind. But our hair shaft, our follicles and things like that are made of keratin, so when you're putting color on your hair, or you're using bleach or doing a bleach job and things like that, you are stripping down and breaking down the keratin that's in your hair, which is the protein. And so you have to treat what's already in your hair. And so when people say you don't need a protein treatment, they're basically like saying like you don't need to treat the protein that was already in your hair, but you honestly do, because when there's color and there's bleach, you have to treat the protein. Olaplex, I know that's a huge one that people like to use. They like to use that. That's a bond reconstructor. That's not a protein treatment. You know, it reconstructs the bonds, but the actual protein is something that needs to be treated. So keep that in mind, because people will try to tell you that you don't need a protein treatment. And it's like, no, if you have color or some type of chemical, it benefits you from time to time to use a protein treatment. So I just want you to know that as well. I get more into that stuff with my Loose Natural Hair videos. If you're interested to learn a lot more about that, scroll down on my videos and you'll see that, and I go more in depth about that as well and why that's important. So with deep conditioners, it'll tell you on the back of the jar, like, you know, you don't have to put a plastic cap on your head. You can leave the deep conditioner on your head for 5 minutes and then rinse it out, and then it serves as a conditioner. But it's a deep penetrating conditioner, we might as well say, because you're using deep conditioner to go through the process of conditioning your hair, right? So I'm going to show you the two things that I like to use. So this is a deep treatment mask by Shea Moisture. It's their raw shea butter mask with sea kelp and argan oil. If it didn't work for your hair, I'm sorry it didn't work for your hair, but we're talking about people that are interested in possibly using this. There's so many different ones, but these are OGs that I'm about to show you from, you know, their line and from what they've come out with. This they have a whole line for this as well, but I like using this one because it has what is it, vegetable protein, hydrolyzed vegetable protein in it. So it's really further down on the bottom. So if it's further down, it's not as much protein, but there is protein in there. I just want to get some in there for my hair because, again, I have the color, right? So I use this one. I can use it often because it's not an intensive level of protein. And then also on top of that, like, it's just really good for my hair. It's going to help treat the keratin that was broken down in my hair shaft, and you know, you want to do that as well. I tell people that all the time. They have people that tell them like, oh, you don't need a protein treatment, and then people have color and their hair breaks off and things like that, and it's like, you need to treat the keratin that's being broken down in your hair, the protein that's being broken down in your hair. So this has a little bit of protein. Some people do deep intensive protein treatments. If a mask or deep conditioner says intensive or deep treatment, then you know, you'll know off the back that that's a protein treatment. So that's how you'll know. It'll say intensive or deep treatment. If it says any of those things along those lines, then it has protein in it, and you use that to help build back up the protein that's in your hair shaft. The other thing I like to use is this intensive hydration hair mask. If it says intensive hydration, intensive moisture, if it says anything like that, if it says intensive and then there's moisture or hydration behind it, then that's a moisturizing hair mask. And so you're going to use that to moisture, you know, add that deep moisture in your hair as well. That deep conditioner that I showed you with the raw shea butter, that is going to give me moisture, but it's going to do that protein moisture balance for my locks. But this is also going to give me the moisture that I need in general if I want to regularly use this. Now, this deep conditioner that originally came in the side of here is not what's in here. I'm going to show you, well, tell you about it and show you what's in there. So what I did for this is I added the raw shea butter in because I ran out of that deep conditioner, honestly. So I added this in and I added water, and I'm going to just show you what it looks like when you add water to the deep conditioner. That's how it looks. It's not super thick, but it has water in there, and I did it like that because I don't want to cause protein product buildup on my locks super easy, because conditioners are heavy, especially these. They're very heavy. So to avoid that, I did add water to cut some of that down and not leave product buildup. You want to make sure, again, I talked about it in my last video, go check that out, when I was telling you about my lock care update. About squeezing your locks out after you deep condition your hair, because it's going to get a lot of that product out of your hair as well as you just rinsing it. This is the deep conditioner, the original deep treatment mask, which has protein in it. This more so does not have, not even more so, it doesn't have any water in it at all. The consistencies are different, and this is just naturally how it comes. I love both of them. They're OGs for Shea Moisture. Again, if these didn't work for you, I'm really sorry to hear they didn't work for you, but this video is for those that want to try these ones, or if you know they love it and it's a holy grail, you know, because I know people get with the, well, I tried that and it didn't work for me. I'm sorry to hear that. If sometimes products that are shown don't work for you, it works for me. So I want to display that and show that to my audience as well. As far as with those masks that I showed you, again, just remember with protein, it's going to say deep treatment or intensive treatment. If it says deep treatment, if it says treatment or anything along those lines, then you know that that has protein in it. If it has hydration or moisture in it after the deep or intensive, then you know that that has moisture in it. So that's how you'll know which one you're buying with protein. Just be careful, because too much protein is not good, but not enough can cause your hair to be broken down even more. Oh, and I just want to add, I've talked about it in my last video, I don't do any steaming treatments or hot oil treatments because I do deep condition my locks. It just takes the work out of having to go and shop for a steamer and all of that and spending money on that, because steamers cost money. And I just get those. In deep conditioners, they last me a long time because I do add the water in, even when I don't add the water in. I was using the Talia Wajid deep conditioner, but you know, I just stopped going to the hair store. I only go there now when I want to get my semi-permanent dye to change my color. But for the most part, I've just been buying my hair mask from Target. So you can literally go to Target, and this video is not to discount or say that you can't use conditioner. I just like using deep conditioner because it gives my hair deeper moisture than if I was to sit and use a conditioner. I know they do concoct and make conditioners, but I prefer to use deep conditioner as my conditioner and as my deep conditioner, or you know, as my hair mask for me to do my protein treatment. So I hope this helps. See y'all later. Bye.